I wrote this down today because I don't want to forget how far I've come. And maybe, just maybe, it'll help someone else. 2 years ago, mornings felt heavy. I'd wake up, look at the clock, and dread getting out of bed. My legs were weak, my arms softer than I remembered. I used to be strong, carried my grandkids, worked in the yard, built things with my hands. But that man felt like a ghost. Doctors told me it's just aging. They gave me pills, powders, and promises. But inside, I was scared. Scared I'd lose more than muscle. Scared I'd lose myself. I didn't say it out loud, but I felt like a burden. And that anger, it ate at me worse than the weakness. Then one morning, and I remembered this clear as daylight, I sat at my kitchen table, staring at my coffee, and thought, there's gotta be more than this. That was the day I started questioning. I didn't find the answer in a pharmacy. I found it in something far simpler and far older. A friend sent me an article about how muscles don't just vanish because we age, they fade because we stop feeding and waking them up. That phrase stuck with me. Wake them up. And so I tried something small. Not a gym membership, not a miracle pill, just one little habit at 6:30 in the morning that changed everything. If you've stayed with me this long, this next part is important. Here's what I learned. First, muscles need a signal, a reason to grow. I started with resistance bands and a chair. Just 5 minutes at sunrise. Simple moves, nothing fancy. At first, it felt silly, almost too easy. But after a week, my legs didn't shake as much. 2 weeks in, I could rise from that chair without pushing on the arms. It was like turning the key on an old engine.
Second, right after that little workout, I eat a high-protein breakfast. Not later, right after. A boiled egg, a little Greek yogurt, or sometimes a protein shake. Research suggests this combination, moving first, then feeding your muscles, helps older bodies rebuild instead of waste away. Third, I learned this. Consistency matters more than intensity. 5 minutes every day beat every I'll start Monday plan I ever made. If you do nothing else, just give your muscles that little wake-up call each morning. Start small, start today. Now, I won't lie and say it was magic, but in 2 weeks, I felt stronger. Not young again, just more like myself. And that was enough to keep going. If you're listening to this and thinking, it's too late for me, let me tell you, it's not. You're not broken. You're just waiting to wake up those muscles. Everything I learned is put into something called the Muscle Revival Blueprint. It's what I wish I had back then. A simple 30-day path to rebuild strength after 50 without the overwhelm. Linked in the description below. Before you go, there's another video you should watch. Avoid these 3 foods with water. They dehydrate seniors over 60. Most people think drinking water with these foods keeps you hydrated, but the opposite is true. You'll find it on the screen at the end. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What would you tell your younger self about health? Because if I could, I'd tell mine this. Don't wait until you feel weak to start living strong.